everybody, and welcome to episode number 15 of the Clarity Project podcast. I am your host, 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗓. For today's episode, we are outside, and as you can see, I'm on dog duties. Actually, you can't see it; it's off cam. But below me is my dog. Hello, Coco. Welcome to the episode of the Clarity Project podcast. So, for today's episode, it is going to be a regular show, wherein I'm going to have my notebook and I'm going to read and reflect on my notes from this notebook. Okay. So here's the first note. When you leave your house and go to a cafe, you are not you. You become an actor. So I guess what this note is trying to tell us is that we have to have more self-awareness on who we are when we are alone versus when we are outside. I guess what this is trying to tell us also, when we hear, when you leave your house and go to a cafe, you are not you, you become an actor, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a cafe. Maybe it's just outside of your house. Maybe it's your workplace rather. Maybe it's in school. Maybe it's in some other place, but outside. It tries to give you the dichotomies, the contrast of your character between who you are when you are alone, when you are by yourself, versus when you're out in public. So this is fitting because, well, we are outside right now. We're in public, in a public space. So yeah, I guess that's really cool to be able to test that out and really see the tests of your character, the consistency of your character and who you are. The next passage is a little bit related to this, right? It says, don't you have to go on a shower for dealing with so much talk, niceness, and false craziness? I guess what this is trying to say is that there's a lot of fakeness in our life right now. There's a lot of fakeness in terms of when we're dealing with other people. We try to put up a mask, a facade on who we are, a projected persona, this false persona on who we think is acceptable when we are facing them. This is a criticism on how fake we have become, on how trying we have become to try and put up this identity that is not truly us. It's a criticism on how dirty the idea of faking yourself and so that other people can accept you really is. Again, let me read it to you guys, right? Don't you have to go on a shower for dealing with so much talk, niceness, and false craziness, right? It's all over the place. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're faking to be nice, or you're faking to be crazy, or you're faking to be interesting, or you're faking to be enjoying a conversation with someone. It is an all-encompassing activity, right? Regardless of whatever you're doing, whether it's nice, whether it's bad, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is that your authentic self? Is that really you? Now, let's read the next passage. And I think this next passage is a little bit different from the kind of philosophy that the previous passages are talking about, which is really interesting because we are not fed the same kind of philosophy. So this is, I think, a counter argument to the previous passages, right? Let me read it to you guys. Conceal your intentions on specific occasions. Revealing everything you want to do is really counterproductive. They're out to steal your ideas. Have an air of mystery. Be aware. Don't just act. So yeah, I guess from reading that, it serves as a caution also on revealing your true self. So that's a little weird, right? On one hand, you have to be consistent. You have to be your authentic self when you're dealing with people, and so that you don't feel dirty or don't feel like you are faking yourself. Because the idea of faking yourself, that pretending to be other people, is this weird idea. It's this dirty idea. It's just a bad activity that will give you this bad feeling in general. But at the same time, this passage, at least this next passage, cautions us that it doesn't necessarily be the case, because sometimes people are out to get you. People are out to steal your ideas. So you have to have an air of mystery. You do not have to reveal everything, right? You have to conceal your intention on specific occasions, because unfortunately this world is not that good, right? There's evil lurking in this world, and that regardless of whether you want to be a good citizen and that you just want to be your true self, sometimes a situation or a certain person demands you to be fake, and unfortunately that's the reality. Another thing that I probably would like to say to you guys, because it's getting dark, is that I'm reminded of a tweet of mine years ago. I think this was from 2021 or 2020. I said, be yourself, right? Be yourself. unless you're Hitler. So that's a little bit of a joke on being yourself unless you are Hitler. That being said, let me close this podcast up. I think this is one of the shortest podcast ever episode. So yeah, if you watch this as a whole, you watch this as snippets. I'd like to be able to thank you guys, and I'll see you again on the next one. Goodbye.